Procrastination versus execution. How many of us are guilty of procrastinating so much that we tend to be afraid to move forward with anything? Now, when it comes to procrastination, I am guilty of it as well, believe it or not. So, there are times where I will go ahead and I will procrastinate to the point where days will pass by and I won't look at the deal that was sent to me. I won't underwrite the deal for whatever reason. Whether it's psychological, subconscious, maybe I'm afraid that I'm not good enough to underwrite this deal, or maybe I'm just already having pessimistic thoughts about the deal. And so I think a lot of us are guilty of that. I don't think I'm the only person out there. And what happens is when you procrastinate so much, you have this pile up of procrastinated paperwork. I I just made that up. So you have this like procrastinated paperwork that just keep piling up. And if you're like me, you're laying in bed at night and you're thinking about this paperwork that just keeps piling up because you know those are the tasks that you have to do and get done. But for some reason, you don't want to go ahead and get up and get them done either in the morning or after work. And then you're like, I'll do it the next day, I'll do it the next day. And before you know it, a week passes by and you have all this procrastinated homework to do. So how do we tackle that? How do we change our subconscious mind to tackle those tasks way before they start affecting our emotions, our anxiety, and our stress? So, one thing that I've been told by people that know how to handle this extremely well is take it step by step. Put in the projects, put out the items that are the most important that you have to get done when you're going through your emails, and flag the ones that can be done later. You always want to go ahead and put ahead the money making activities that are going to bring you money. And so if you get a deal and you underwrite the deal and the deal is good, immediately get the contract out, send out the offer, start, the dispoing if you're going to dispo it to another buyer, or if you're going to joint venture, or maybe you're going to keep the deal for yourself, start the process with the title company, with the lender. The last thing you want to do is sit there and procrastinate and then wake up in the morning or stay up at night and have these anxious feelings because of the tasks that you were supposed to do and that you haven't gotten done. And so that's something that I've really been working on and I'm trying to get better at. And I'm seeing that by hiring a person to handle some of these tasks that should be off my plate already, it's starting to bring me more ease and give me more of a peace of mind because someone else is taking care of those tasks for me. And now I can focus more on money making activities. And I think that in business, once you create that system and process for yourself, I think you should hire somebody right away, whether it's a virtual assistant, whether it's an assistant for yourself to manage your calendar, take care of your emails, make sure your inbox is cleared, make sure all the important emails are maybe put into another inbox so that you can review with your VA or with your assistant. I think it's very important that you take the money that you make and you put it aside and you hire somebody right away and train them really, really well. And the reason I say that is because what's going to happen is your brain is going to grow. You're going to grow, and you're going to grow to the point where you're going to be getting messages and DMs and people calling you and sending you deals. And believe me when I tell you this, you do not have the bandwidth or the capacity to do it all on your own. And all that's going to happen, if you have a partner especially, it's going to cause tension between you guys. It's going to cause frustration. There's going to be deals that are going to be put aside that are not being worked on, that are literally money deals, money for you to make and feed your family. And so when it comes to this, don't be cheap. Don't be cheap is what I want to tell you. I've been paying for VAs for years. For years, I've been paying for VAs. When I was running my mortgage company at full capacity, I had about 3 people on payroll. 3 people on payroll. I actually had a I had a 2 processors, which I didn't have to have one, but I had one just because in case one got sick, I wanted to make sure the other one was there. So there was never anybody that was missing within the company, right? We always want to be one step ahead, just like a chess player. And then I also had a person that actually put the file together to make it even easier for the processors. That person, it was more of like a compliance manager for me, and there was a name for them too. It was called I forgot what it was called. Intake processor, where they get the file, they put it together. I had such a good system, guys. It was literally like such a beautiful system. I can't believe I didn't appreciate what type of system I was able to build out with these people, and how it was becoming a well-oiled machine. But it took years for me to understand that and for me to do all that. And then when it happened, I took it for granted. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is pretty easy, you know." In reality, it wasn't easy. It was hard. But slowly but surely, we got 1% better every single day. Slowly but surely, we implemented processes, procedures, systems, SOPs into our company. And we trained and we trained and we trained. And we had conversations, and we had constructive feedback from the team members, and we implemented new ideas, new ideologies into our company. And so when I look back at how my mortgage company was functioning and how the processes were all set up, that could have been really, really scaled because I had a scalable system, because everybody knew what their job title was. There was no such thing as, I don't know what to do today. Everybody had their tasks, and those tasks had to be done. And so when you start a company and you hire somebody, you always want to make sure that you give them that shows them exactly what their daily tasks look like. Because people like to follow things, like to follow rules. And if the procedures are not there written in writing for them, a lot of times those things will be missed. I laugh because me and my partner, we're hiring a new cleaning lady, right? And we always seem to have these issues with these cleaning ladies where they're like, "Oh, well, I didn't know I have to do that, or I don't know if we have to do this," right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. There's gonna be no more thinking, no more saying, "I didn't know this, you didn't tell me this." I am literally gonna create an Excel spreadsheet with check marks on it, and I'm gonna leave it at my house every time this new cleaning lady comes. And everything that she said that she's going to do is going to be written on this little piece of paper, and she's going to check mark it off when she's finished with it. So then we don't have any problems anymore. There's no such thing as me calling her, "Hey, why wasn't this done? Hey, why wasn't this cleaned? What happened with this?" You know, people need direction. And I'm starting to see that we have such uh, a short attention span, because of social media. I mean, it affects me too. I have a very short attention span too. A lot of times, sometimes I feel like I'm being rude to people because when I'm talking with them and we're having a conversation, when the conversation goes a little bit too long, for some reason, whatever reason it is, like I kind of float away a little bit, not intentionally, but I don't know if it's because of all the years of social media with the short form videos, and then you just hear what you want to hear. And I'm trying to work on it. I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that's like that, you know. And I think sometimes that's why I say I'm really good at sales when it comes to over the phone. In person, am I good at them? Yes. Am I better at them on the phone? 100%. 100% I'm better with them on the phone. For some reason, I'm more focused on the phone. I don't have to worry about my gestures, about my facial expressions, about how I portray myself, how I look, whether my tattoos are showing, whether I don't know, for whatever, maybe I'm having a bad hair day. I don't know, whatever, right? And you portray those feelings, and people see that. They see that aura, that energy about you. And so you have to figure out, especially when you're out there networking with people, the way you approach them, the way you speak with them, the body language, because people you can tend. Some people are more cautious, some people are more introverted, more extroverted, and you have to understand people's psychology. That's number one, right? So we always have to make sure that we understand people's psychology. And where this leads to is a deal that we are currently doing. It is a deal. It is a pre-foreclosure deal, which is great, right? So we're doing a pre-foreclosure deal. This lady, just we called her, we texted her, we started talking to her, and she's like, you know what? I honestly, I just want out of this property. Whatever you guys can give me. Just let me get out of this property. And so we went ahead and we got this property under contract, and now we're currently in process of purchasing this property. And the nice thing is, it's a beautiful property. But what do? We solved her problem. Her problem was, I need to get out. I have bad memories of this house. This house is no longer for me. I don't want this foreclosure on my record. Help me move. Help me do this. Help me do that. And all the purchase price, all of the conversations about buying the property went to the side, and all we focused on was how can we help this person, because she needed help. She didn't want to lose the house. She didn't want to destroy her credit. And so we're this deal should be closing probably in the next couple of weeks, which we're excited about. So if you guys want to learn pre-foreclosures, guys, I'll tell you that this is one of the best things you can possibly do is learn how to do pre-foreclosures, because pre-foreclosures, they're not going anywhere. Are they easy? Absolutely not. Does it take a long time to get a deal, especially when you're calling and texting? 100%. Can you get lucky and get your deal on your first, second call? Sure. But is that something that can be continuous? Is that something that can be consistent? If you get one deal and you make a good amount of money, no, it's going to be hard. You're going to get those, lay downs, sure, but to get those lay downs, you're going to have to go through a lot of deals, right? And so it's about consistency, follow up, having real conversations with these people, and making sure that they understand that you're there to help them. Some people are like, "Oh, Mike, what do you're taking advantage of these people." How am I taking advantage of these people? I'm literally the last person they have. Their family and friends didn't help them. They didn't help them give them money to reinstate the loan. Um, They didn't. That means they didn't trust them with their money, right? The bank said no. The bank said absolutely not. We're not going to help you with a loan modification. There's nothing we can do. We're going to foreclose on the house, right? Um, and they reached out to maybe some creditors. Hey, can you guys borrow me some money? And keep in mind, a lot of these people have a lot of equity in these properties. So for a family member to say no to you, right? Even though they might be secured with the house or, whatever the case may be, they still said no. And so there comes to a point where the auction's coming up, and then we become their last resort. Because it's funny how some of these politicians and governors and attorney generals say, They say, "Oh, well, you know what? Even if you go into foreclosure, you can go ahead and you can try to redeem and try to redeem the surplus of funds." Who the F knows how to do that, right? Which one of you guys out there, please raise your hand if you're one of those people, knew that if your property goes into foreclosure, gets sold at an auction to an investor, that you can physically go to an attorney and apply for the difference to get your money back? Who knew that? I didn't. I did not know that. I did not know that until a couple years ago. And I've been in this game for a very long time. That's the first time I heard of surplus of funds. So most of this money is sitting in some sort of state account, right? That's not being touched. And who's taking that money? I don't know. You tell, if anybody knows where that money goes, please tell me, because I know that no person has gotten a letter from the actual state or county where their funds are sitting, where there's a surplus of funds, saying, "Hey, by the way, there's $100,000 here that you can claim." I've never heard of it. Never, ever heard of it in my life. And so when we come in and we give the person a good cash offer, we help them move, we help them find a new place, we help them avoid foreclosure completely, because keep in mind, foreclosure is 7 years on your record. It destroys your record. Your credit score goes to like a 500, guys, by the way. It's crazy. And this is going on top of already your payments being missed. Like you're like behind like 90 days or 100 days or 200 days, whatever it may be. And in 7 years, it's on your record that you've been foreclosed upon. How many landlords will accept you in an apartment? How many car dealers will give you a car? When will you be able to rebuild your credit and start rebuilding? It's going to be very tough and hard after a foreclosure. And so when we stop these foreclosures, they're done. Everything gets paid back. The bank gets paid back. Their credit shows up as clean, zero balance on their mortgage. And now they get to rebuild their credit. And it's easy. They can go apply for a secured credit card. They can go on. They're also as a authorized user on somebody else's account that has a very good account for like the last 10 years, being added as an authorized user. Just make sure that the bank that they're being added on or you're being added on reports to all the major credit bureaus. Funny story here, guys. I'll give you a funny story. I actually, this is funny. You're gonna love this one. Congrats on your deal that closed yesterday in LA. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. It was a team effort, Saul. Appreciate you. Yeah. We're gonna be doing a lot more stuff in LA. LA is a beautiful deal, guys. So Saul, we closed a massive deal yesterday in LA. I'm not taking credit for it. I never take credit for anything here. It's always a team effort. We have some amazing partners in California. Amazing people. I'm talking about, I became such good friends with this one gentleman. This other gentleman I'm becoming very good friends with. And he's taught me so much too. He's poured so much knowledge into me that I appreciate. I'm probably going to actually fly out there and just go door knocking with them for fun and do some content on it, because they're so cool. So yesterday we ended up closing on LA. It should be recording today. It was in Linwood, California, and we ended up making about $170,000 on it. So very, very good, right? But remember, right? 170K, right? Let's say I did this by myself, right? All the stress I would have to go through in LA, all the understanding the pre-sale inspections, because this one had a pre-sale inspection, making sure I got a good contractor crew, making sure all that. I didn't have to worry about that. I had my good friends and partners take care of that. They were happy to take care of that. And I was here assisting. I went on a hard money loan and everything else. I was assisting with making payments every single month on our hard money payments, because that's what you do when you collaborate. You work together, and you know what? In the end, the universe pays you back in ways that you will never believe. But you cannot be greedy. You cannot be selfish. You have to spread the wealth. Work with other people. I cannot tell you enough how many people have reached out to me and asked me, "Hey, do you have a buyer for this? Hey, can you help me with this?" But they don't want to share the pie. They're like, dude, like, you want me to sit there and work for you, right? And go out there and utilize my team, my resources for what? Like, for where you want to keep like all the profit? Like, come on. Especially when you're like a first time wholesaler and investor, and you reach out to someone like me, or just anybody. It doesn't have to be me. I don't care who it is, right? And you're asking for help, like for me to find you a buyer, facilitate the transaction, and you're like, well, how much are you going to take, or whatever? Like, come on, man. Like, it's like, hey, you know what? Can you help me with this? I want to learn. I'm willing to take whatever I can on this deal, right? Because I want to learn. I want to be able to do this on my own. Guys, like, it's just so crazy. Like, you'll go to school in college for 4 fucking years. You'll pay $20,000 to $40,000 a year. You'll come out with some sort of degree that nobody gives I'm sorry, a shit about sometimes, right? Like, I don't know, like a liberal arts degree or something, or a social science degree, or whatever. Degrees that even business degrees are kind of pointless anymore unless you have a master's or a PhD. But you'll spend all this money on college, but you'll reach out to a guy like me where you can make 10, 20 grand, right? But you say, no, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna do it on my own because I don't know. I just don't want to share the pie. And the reason you don't want to do that is because you don't believe in yourself that you can get more deals. Because if you believed in yourself that you can get more deals, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because if you're going to sit there and you're going to hold on to this one deal that you got, right? Maybe you'll make 50 grand on, I don't know, 25,000, 100,000, whatever. You don't have the mindset yet on how to take that money and reinvest that money back into your business. You don't have that mindset at how to save some of those funds and not spend it on materialistic things. Because I've seen people make 50 grand and a month later that money was gone. That was their one whale deal, right? What's next? What is next? That's the question. Are you there to do one deal, a one-off? Or are you there to build skills and build some sort of system and business for yourself? What are your goals? Maybe your goals are different. Maybe you do want to do that one whale deal a year. That's fine. Then do it on your own. Do it on your own, right? But if you want to scale, if you want to learn, then you work with somebody that's doing what you want to do on a consistent basis. And so everything that I talk about is actual, is real. I have proof for these things. Were they easy to get done? No, absolutely not. Do I have LLC documents and HUDs to prove that I own these properties and that I have equity or this or that? Yes, I do, and the thing is, that's also something that you have to, also be careful when you're seeing all these people on TikTok and everywhere else, like all these gurus out there that are selling courses, right? Like, what proof do they have, right? Like, sure, checks, whatever, you can show checks. Like, I'm sure a lot of these people are legitimate people that are showing checks. But remember, some checks that people show, they're not in that profit, right? So somebody could say, oh, I did a flip, I made 150K, right? And they get a check for 150K. But out of that 150K, guess what? 100 of that went back to either the private money lender, right? Because remember, people borrow money, construction costs, things of that nature. So that 150K check is that, and as an actuality for net profit, 50K. With our deal in California, our gross profit was 250,000 gross profit. And I'm sorry, yeah, gross revenue, gross profit, right? And that was the down payment, the construction costs, the private money lender got paid his interest. I got paid back the monthly payments that I was making to the hard money lender, and so we ended up netting like 170, right? Which is fantastic, which is incredible, right? The incredible numbers. It's just California is just a fucking different beast. I'm telling you, it's just a different beast. It's a different animal. I think it's a different world. Do I believe it's ran the right way? That's debatable, right? That's debatable. I don't want to get into politics here or anything like that because my brother also lives in California. I think California is a beautiful state. I love it. I'm going to go out there probably pretty soon to visit my friends and see my brother. But, do I agree with some of the things in California? No. Do I think there's a huge homeless problem in California? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I think there should be in one of the most richest states in the country? No. I don't think there should be. But is there? Yes. California was given billions of dollars to help the homeless epidemic that's happening in California. What happened to that money? We don't know. No one's talking about it. Apparently, the bookkeeping in California is back from the 1920s and 30s. so, but yeah, I'm going off on a tangent here right now. But do I love California? I love Cali. I do. I have some really, really good friends in California. And I'm so grateful and appreciative of these friends because without good friends, let me rewind this. Without good business friends, what can you really do in life? You could be a solopreneur. You could do your things on your own and things like that. But man, it gets so much better when you have good business friends. And you can make that phone call and you can say you have a problem. They'll have a solution for you. You can joint venture with them. You can do deals with them. You can do so much with them. And it's like, sometimes it's just so magical how things come to fruition and happen in such a nice and meaningful way. And so I'm such a huge advocate for working with good people. And I've been fortunate enough to work with good people. I've worked with some bad apples too. Don't get me wrong, but you figure them out really quickly. You also work with people that you don't have similar ideologies, right? You have difference of opinions, which is fine, which is exactly what we need, right? We need a difference of opinion. That's why Charlie Kirk did not die in vain. Charlie Kirk had. I believe it's funny. He has actually. I live 10 minutes away from where he was born. He was born in Arlington Heights, Illinois. I was not aware of that. And I live about 10 minutes away from Arlington Heights, which is a suburb in Chicago. I'm not going to get political here, but I don't believe anybody should be shot, killed, condemned over their opinions and their political beliefs. I believe what Charlie Kirk tried to do was open debate, open conversations where that we need to have as a country, as a society in America. I think that we're spread apart way too much right now. The division is incredible. We are divided, but people don't want to hear the truth. The truth hurts, right? Just like when you tell somebody in a relationship, or whether your family member, your mom or your dad, the truth, sometimes it hurts, but it has to. You have to convey it. You have to convey it to the person. And Charlie was conveying it to the whole world. And he was very good at it. He was very good at it. And I am I'm sad in what happened to Charlie, because I've watched many of his debates, and he was incredible. He was like a human encyclopedia, and with a man that I never even knew, never even met in my life, just seen on screen, for that to affect me so much, it affected me as a human, not on nowhere about my political beliefs, Republican, Independent, or Democratic. It just affected me as a human, that because he spoke his mind and his opinion, that he got slaughtered by someone that could not stand in the microphone in front of him with a microphone and debate him on their beliefs. The person that did this was a complete coward and took the coward's way out, because he could not convey his message through his voice. And it's scary to think that you cannot go out there anymore, and you can't be who you are, and you can't state what your beliefs are, or your opinions, because there are a certain group of people that will turn things into violence. And this violence is stemming from the divide of us. The division is great, my friends. We have to start coming together as a whole, because no one's here to save us. Not your parents, not your government. It's you. We have to figure out how we can live together in peace and harmony, how we can work together, how we can make money together. Because a lot of the things that are going on are obviously because of a wealth gap, right? In America, or all over the world, right? Where the rich are getting richer, apparently the poor are getting poorer, but we all have a chance. Like, you guys, honestly, we live in such a country where you can literally just wake up and do whatever you want. You know, you can wake up and just do whatever you want. You don't have to. You can literally go out there, open up an LLC, start making some phone calls, and start making some money, and start a business. That's the country that we live in, you know? And so with that being said, I appreciate you guys. I think did I lose my live? What is going on? I always lose my live. Let's see here. I lost my live. TikTok, what's going on? How you guys doing? How are you guys? Oh man, I got 4 hearts today, huh? Cool. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Where is my other stuff here? Let's see here. Where am I going here? This has been a pretty long stream today, but you know what's crazy? These streams that I do, they like calm me down. It's kind of cool. I get to speak my mind. I get to speak about what I do, the problems that I'm having in the business. Like, it's fun. Good stuff. What's going on here? But yeah. So anyways, guys, TikTok, if you guys are, can you guys hear me on TikTok? Invite, co-share, and join. If you guys can hear me, if you guys are looking for anything when it comes to lending, right? So if you want transactional lending, go to creativefunds.com with a K, creativefunds.com. And if you're looking for lending for DSCR loans, ground up construction, fix and flips, fixed to rent, feel free to go on and take a look at Kreative creativelending.com. That's with a K, guys, creativelending.com. And so, with that being said, I think I'm going to sign off right now. Got to go to work here, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been the Creative Mike Show. My name is Creative Mike, and as always, stay creative, my friends. God bless. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, Candace, right? That's weird. All right, I'm on the stream. Love you guys.